Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen. This is Mujib Qazi and you're watching Washington Roundtable on VOKTV. We are back again with Mufti Shaukat Farooqi Saab. We were talking about miseries and the calamities that the people of Kashmir are facing. One of the biggest challenge for the people on ground is that for centuries they have been enjoying this liberty of uh, being proud of their own domicile, their own statehood, where they were the one who were making decisions for their own selves. All of a sudden, the domicile laws have been changed. Millions of people have been brought in from outside who are non-Kashmiris, which is something that Kashmiris have seen or witnessed or heard first time in their history. So, learn more about it. We have Mufti Shaukat Saab again with us. Mufti Saab, welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank
How
you
are you,
for
sir?
having me. Welcome.
Certainly. Sir, tell us about how this changes in the domicile law and bringing in non Kashmiris to the state, taking away their financial resources, their businesses, their employment, how that is impacting the life and overall sentiment of people of Kashmir.
So we had what was called the state subject law before, and it was brought by the Maharaja to prevent people from outside buying land in Kashmir, and also the other purpose was to so that the jobs of the locals were protected. So later on, it was called the permanent resident law, and a certificate was issued to people who were born there or who were descendants of people who had already lived there for many generations. Uh, as a result of what happened on August 5, 2019, so Article 370 was abrogated, and they also made changes in the state subject law. They brought in the domicile law. So under the domicile law, they gave rights to people of two categories. One was who had lived in the state for 15 years, that they could apply for a permanent resident certificate. Also, uh, the security forces, armed forces, uh, who were there, they had to satisfy only a requirement of 10 years, or people who had studied there, they had to. So they could apply for a permanent resident certificate. So, according to my information, they have issued about uh, 2 to 300,000 certificates so far. Not millions, as you mentioned recently, but it can go into millions. It can go into millions, uh, because they are very aggressively pursuing this policy of bringing people from outside. And as you know, India is in occupation of Kashmir. So what they are doing is they are there in settler occupation. What that means is that they are there permanently. They want to bring people from outside, settle them there, and drive out Kashmiri people. So that is what is going to happen later. It's not yet at that stage, but that is what is going to happen at later. That is what their policy is, just as what happened in Palestine.
Uh, just to clarify, Mufti Saab, as of August 2023, 4.4 million domicile certificates to non-Kashmiris in Jammu and Kashmir were issued, and this was reported in many news articles.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
so I stand corrected there.
Ji,
I
ji.
did not have the latest figures on that. So it is already moving at a fast pace. The last I knew was it was 300,000,
Hmm.
and you can imagine how quickly they are implementing this policy. So what it does is that it takes away the jobs of the local people, and and the land that is given to these permanent residents. It's the state land. They are being brought and resettled on state land, And they also have the option to buy from locals. So what is going to happen is they will offer high prices, exorbitantly high prices to the locals, and uh, and the locals will be compelled to sell to them, who need the money or who are not in a good financial position. That is exactly what the settler policy of Israel in Palestine is, and the West Bank. And you know what those settlers are doing? They are chasing away the Palestinians from the West Bank now, and it's becoming a big problem there. They are killing them, destroying their properties, and that is what Kashmir's fear might happen in Kashmir too. And that seems to be the intention of the central government. There are other laws also which are anti-people, which affect the life and liberty of the people in Kashmir. As I said earlier, UAPA and Public Safety Act. But apart from the laws, there is a different approach to governance, which is lawlessness.
Hmm.
So, which means that they issue oral orders or written orders also, which are not according to any law, and compel Kashmiris to do things that affect their life and liberty. For example, recently they had a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which is like to have a clean city or clean place, which I have no objection with, which is a good policy. But what they did is they they issued an order to all the government employees to come with their brooms to a certain place and clean it. And how would they ensure attendance? They told them to take a picture of themselves cleaning the street and send it to your supervisor, which is which is highly objectionable because it undermines the dignity and respect of a person, and and also their life and liberty. Secondly, they again did it on Independence Day. People don't show up for Independence Day in Kashmir voluntarily. The government employees have to come, and school children are also asked to come, besides the security forces. But what they did is they asked all government employees to come to the Independence Day celebration in Srinagar and other places, and they told them to bring a flag, Indian flag, with them. And to show their attendance, they told them to take a picture of themselves there in the stadium with the flag and send it to your supervisor. So this is so demeaning. This is to rob them of their dignity, of respect, and this is how they are operating. Apart from the laws, the police operates without any laws. They arrest, detain, harass anyone, and then they don't show they were arrested. They were detained. They just put them in the jail. You know the you know what they do. I mean, it happens probably in your part of the Kashmir also, and this is what they are doing here in Kashmir, and it has made life very miserable for the Kashmiris.
As far as I know, and I can stand corrected, in the Azad Kashmir side of the way they are functioning in illusion and delusion, what they do is they bring in non-Kashmiris and give them land on leases, and they say, "Well, we are not selling it; we are just giving it leases up to 100 years." And then some of the you will see there was a uproar by the Kashmiris. The military forces were trying to take over some of the most beautiful peaks in Kashmir, and even by the naval, they were just trying to build their restaurants and the motels and the hotels for the high officials of the Navy. What does Navy have to do in Kashmir? So they play this kind of game on that side also, but it is very unfortunate that the people of Kashmir on both sides, their liberty, their freedom, their voices have been subdued, and they have been challenged to live in their own territory. A final comment before I close the show, Mufti Sir.
This you referred to this policy, in Azad Kashmir, about the long-term leases. So before they abrogated Article 370 and brought in this residency law, that is what they were doing there. They were giving land to outsiders on a long-term basis, 99 years. They could not give 99 years, 60 years, 50 years leases. And a lot of land was given to the army. It is under their occupation. A lot of prime land is under their occupation. And they are not prepared to surrender it, depriving Kashmiris of prime land, which could be used for business, which could be used for their own benefit. Also,
Livelihood.
last point I want to say
Mhm.
is that Kashmir has many, about 4 or 5 hydroelectric projects,
Mhm.
which produce a lot of, thousands of megawatts of electricity. But inside Kashmir, there is load shedding. Most of 75% of the power generated inside Kashmir is exported to other parts of India, while Kashmiris are deprived of energy.
Well, that is unfortunately happening in Azad Kashmir as well. If you notice, very recently in Azad Kashmir, National Action Committee was formed on an organic movement to reclaim their rights. And one of them was that the most of the electric is produced in Azad Kashmir through their diverting their water resources, but they are the one facing 16 hours to 18 hours of load shedding on a daily basis in a scorching heat. Unfortunately, I have to end the show right there, and inshallah, we'll get back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have on the subject at this time. If you like our show, please comment, share, and pass the message on to the peers so the people can be apprised of. Thank you, Mufti Saab.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.